Aspas is arguably the best and most consistent player Valorant has seen to date. Recently, he broke the kill record with 47 kills on a single map against Sentinels, which is absolutely insane. So today, let's learn from Leviathan's star player and figure out how to carry on Duelist like LEV Aspas. Obviously, a Duelist needs strong mechanics because your main job is to kill people. What becomes obvious when you watch Aspas is that he has mastered the 2-bullet burst meta. He barely sprays, and when he does, it's at close range. Besides that, he always stays mobile in his engagements, which allows him to remain a hard target and multi-frag in tough spots. Let's detail dive into a couple of examples. So in this first clip here, we're going to see an early engagement towards C side because Sentinels is contesting this mount area, and Leviathan is going to come out on top because of an early double kill from Aspas, and we're going to have the POV of this double kill in this replay over here. And what I mainly want to highlight is this first part of the engagement from Aspas against the Omen, because when we switch to this frame over here, we can see that when Aspas first peeks for this duel, he's not well prepared for it. His gun is not fully out yet, and his crosshair is in an awful spot. He needs to hit a very hard shot here. And the important thing to notice is how Aspas is not committing to this fight, but instead he is dead zoning, firing a few bullets, but immediately strafing back into cover, resetting the fight, remaining a hard target, and then he's peeking out again with better preparation. And even though it's a pretty good micro repositioning from the Omen here, honestly, switching his position, Aspas is just ready for the fight now, and he's able to hit that flick. And because he stayed alive in the first place, he's able to get that kill and then get an easy trade kill here on the blinded target as well. Now, in the second clip, Aspas is going to be able to kill a double stack of 2 enemies who are in different elevations as well, which is pretty crazy. This retake should have not really worked from Leviathan's perspective, but Aspas secured it with this crazy double kill that you're going to see right here. And once again, it's the same thing as we're going to see in the replay. Aspas is using this dead zoning mechanic to the fullest, okay? So he's first shooting at this guy, and now he's going to strafe out. He sees 2 targets. He's immediately selecting his first target. In this case, he's going for the Raze here because probably he sees her first and reacts to her first. So he's strafing to the right with D. He's starting to let go of D and pressing A. So he's kind of, approaching that dead zone moment where he's switching direction. He's shooting his burst at the Raze here while he's dead zoning, and then is immediately able to strafe to the left and fire a spray at the second target then. And because he is so good mechanically, he's able to hit that shot, make that mini strafe to the side and kill the second target as well. And now in this third clip here, I want you to see how even when he's holding an angle, he's very mobile, kills the target and immediately tries to stay mobile again, okay? So if we go back once more to when he's holding the angle there in slow motion, we can see that he's even staying mobile while holding the angle. So probably that's for him to have a feeling that he's a hard target, that he can hit a good shot here, that he's awake and in the moment. And then immediately after hitting that shot, he's doing a micro strafe to the right again, and after that he's using some Raze agent specific mechanics, gets a second kill with satchel plus ult, and then satchels out. So that's pretty good here as well. Now in this final clip, I want to highlight how it looks like and feels like to fight against LEV Aspas, because we can see it from John Cutie's POV here, and it looks pretty much impossible. So what's happening here? We see that John Cutie is aiming at the wall, and the wall is going to go down, and he's going to see Aspas over here. And what John Cutie obviously is trying to do is see the target, flick to the target and shoot, right? The only problem is that Aspas does not stay stationary in this spot at all to try and really aim at John Cutie and hit his bullets. Instead, he's once again just dead zoning, immediately strafing to the other side and then shooting again. And so what's going to happen is that the moment John Cutie has done his aim correction, Aspas is already in a different spot, and now John Cutie is the one who's shooting and who is a stationary target, and Aspas has an easy shot on him. And we're going to see it from Aspas' POV as well here, how quick he really is, how he's sacrificing a little bit of that accuracy on his first shots because he's really going for that dead zoning mechanic, and how now he's really just focused on immediately strafing back and eliminating the target. This is why he's so hard to kill and is able to outduel most other players. Now, if you want to track your own mechanics and movement progress, then make sure to use our free analytics tool Insight, because here you can see your gameplay be broken down into a bunch of different metrics, including movement. You can train your mechanics and then track how your movement in between kills and movement in between getting traded stats improve. Link down below. But Aspas is not an all-aim, no-brain player. Quite the opposite, in fact. Aspas has extraordinary game sense. He knows exactly how to play out different situations, when to play it safe, and when to take space and press for the advantage. We're once again starting off with a familiar clip from the 4th round where Aspas is getting the double kill here, but this time what interests us is what he's doing after that, because now he's done his job, right? He's taken the first few engagements, he's the first to enter side, but is he now deciding to stay safe and play out the man advantage, or is he going to create space? He's going to decide to stay on side in this instance. Why is that? Well, the fight that took place was in a very early position. It was here in the mount area, and so Aspas doesn't know how close the rotates from the enemies are already, if they're already closing in here on waterfall and CT. So he doesn't really know if it's safe to take space, and also his team is a little bit spread out, so he needs to guard his fate here while she's planting the spike, and so in the end he decides to just stay safe and play out this 4 versus 3 situation on site. And this is very important as a duelist. After you've entered site, you need to know, is it a spot where I should try to create space and push forward, or is it a spot where I need to stay with my team and just play for the trades on site? And you know, C is not really that easy to retake, so it's a man advantage situation, and Aspas does not need to risk this round by pushing forward and doing anything fancy. So the rest of this round is pretty boring, honestly. Just some util usage, a fade ult thrown in there, and then in the end Sentinels decide to save because there's nothing they can do. And I want to now compare this first round with the second round we're seeing here, but this time it's going to be an entirely different picture, because what happened here, look at Aspas, where is he? He's already pushed up towards CT spot. Why is that in this case? Why did he decide to push in this situation? Well, you know, Sassy is pretty much the B anchor here, and he's playing in this upper position, and he's being caught out by this peak. And now Aspas knows that his team just killed the player who's most likely playing B for info far back into the side, and he died up here. So it's very unlikely that a second player is going to play alongside with Sassy in that position. So Aspas decides to immediately double satchel and take that space before anyone from the enemy team can even be close. And he tries to take a timing and push into here very aggressively in case one of the enemies decides to rotate from, you know, A side, and that he can potentially catch them off guard. And when he doesn't see anyone, then he decides to push and go all the way around for a very, very early flank. And he just recognized that this is a good timing because he was able to take this space pretty much 1 second after that player died, because he's so mobile with the satchels. And that's why in the second example it was good to take space. And Aspas is just really a player who knows this stuff in and out. He knows how to play as a duelist, and that's why he's getting this god flank here and is rewarded with 2 kills. After that, a little bit of an overheat, but it's 4 versus 2. So once again, not really anything that can be done by Sentinels here in this spot. Now this third and final clip is pretty much a mix of the first and second clip. We're going to see Leviathan doing an A execute here while Sentinels is on an eco round, and once again Aspas is pushing forward aggressively with some fade utility. I think he got a seize and a reveal or something like that, and he is trying to create space and pushing towards that CT spawn here, taking a fight here. But he knows as soon as he's spotted and he's not getting a kill there, that it is most likely very risky to stay here, because he can be fought from multiple angles and potentially die in a weapon advantage round and give up this weapon, which would not be a very great idea. So he realizes that There was a moment where he could have created some space, but he's being spotted and he should not overstay his welcome here, and so he's going back because his job here is done. He's falling back, but the enemy team doesn't know that for sure. He could still be somewhere in that angle towards the right, and so what is happening here, he's drawing out some util from the enemy team just by that pressure that he did there. So there's a boombot and there's an omen flash here, and these two important pieces of util that could have been used to clear out some other angles are now wasted on empty space, because Aspas did the perfect balance between pressuring and creating some space, but then falling back when he knew that he's most likely going to be cleared out because he's known. The third factor that makes Aspas such a strong player in my opinion is team play. Aspas has great spacing and he often fights together with his teammates. Even though he has such great mechanics and is a strong playmaker, he knows that his chances are just better when fighting together with his team. After all, he's going up against aimers like Tense and Zekken and such, who know how to hold a mouse as well. So you're going to see him pushing for fights when he knows that a teammate is close by who can trade him or who he can trade for. Let's have a look at a couple of examples. So in this first team play clip here, we see a C-side hold from Leviathan. So basically what's happening is Sentinels is executing and Leviathan has 3 players here with Mezino and then also Calm and Aspas towards the waterfall area in a double stack. And since they are 3 here, they decide to fight. And when Aspas has his teammates around like that, he is playing for the trades and he's trying to fight till death, even though the trades don't play out in their favor in this instance. But he's always playing around his teammates. Same thing here in the second clip, we are having Sentinels on the B side in this instance. And so 2 players from Leviathan, Calm and once again Aspas decide to flank the B main player through the door here from C side, and since there are 2, it's just impossible for Celsius to not get traded here pretty much. They both come in from different angles, and this is what you guys need to do as well. You need to play around teammates, try to trade. Either you pick a teammate and you just follow them and play off of them, or you actively communicate, hey, let's do this or that together. Now in this next example, I want you to see how Aspas behaves when he doesn't have his teammates around, okay? So the clip starts a little bit earlier even, where we can see how Aspas is the only player on B right now, and Sentinels came in and started planting the spike here, and he is not going to go for a hero play because he recognizes that none of his teammates are there. They are all either towards here, this A area, or we have Mezino over there on C still. So Aspas is not going for the low odds hero play. Instead, he's just going to hold his position here, hold the space towards upper so that, you know, at least they control some sort of space, and he's going to let the situation play out and wait for a better spot when he can play around his teammates. So now, after all the trades happened, it's a 2-on-2 situation, right? And now Aspas is starting to go towards the B area and starting to clear out some angles here, because obviously he knows that Zekken is towards the A link here because he got called out after getting that last kill, and then B main he knows is going to be cleared from his teammate Mezino over here. So now Aspas is starting to clear out these angles and is starting to play the situation out because he knows his teammate is going to come in and they can start fighting together. So he pushes the C-link area. You can see, by the way, how scared Zekken here is to take the fight. I mean, of course he wants to delay the situation as well, but Mezino with a clutch smoke here and a clutch TP, really well played. So basically Aspas has fully pressured Zekken out of the situation, and now Sasi needs to play next and the bomb is not planted for him. And you just see how from a situation where Aspas would have done a hero play with no info where enemies are on this side, he just simply waited a little bit and played out the situation very well together with his teammate, and now he's in a position where he can take an off angle on this guy who needs to peek out without any information where Aspas is. And so now Aspas has the advantage in the fight and he gets this kill very easily, switches around and has another fight where he has the advantage because Zekken needs to push out of a smoke and has no chance. And you can just see how amazing that worked in Aspas' favor when he waited to then play around his teammates. And on this execute here in this final clip, I want to show you guys how patiently Aspas is on these executes as well and playing together with his team. So he's going to use his first satchel in order to get across here and push into this area a little bit further up towards stairs. So he's using one satchel there. Now we're going to see a molly and Aspas nade, and they get the second kill. Now you're going to, or the first kill I should rather say, sorry. And now you're going to see Aspas using his second satchel to take frontside, because they just killed the frontside player. Obviously someone can still be backside where John Cutie is, but Aspas is not just running in there, you know, taking a 50-50 duel. He's not just going like this and boom, trying to fight. No, he's using another satchel, getting the space frontside. He sees John Cutie. What do they do now? Aspas is using his next piece of util, he's using his boombot, and Calm has a really nice seize here as well. And so this is just a horrible situation for John Cutie. He's seized, he needs to shoot the boombot, and now Aspas is going to swing him and kill him. And you just see how methodical Aspas is taking this space. Then he pushes upper here, once again creating some space, and takes that kill, almost gets a fourth on the round. And it's just so slow and methodical, but perfect at the same time. Now there's other pro players to learn from, of course, so if you're interested to see more, then make sure to check out this breakdown of Demon 1's aim. See you there.